All right, Henry McClure live here at the Glass Houses studio, part of the Ryan Mowinkle empire of commercial real estate, home to his State Farm business. Now listen to me. Oh, hey, Chuck Lauer, if you're watching, just turn the channel, dude, because I'm not done. I'm just begun as far as reporting the behavior of our government. I'm telling you. Trump lost Shawnee County by 407 votes. And that just shows you that we're behind. We're living in the dark ages here compared to the rest of the country. Now you got to watch this. This is very interesting. Must see, must see.
Good morning, Robert Williams, 3249 Southeast Shawnee Terrace. Thank you for allowing me to grace you with my presence yet again. I know you are hardworking, and I apologize for my lack of diplomacy when I speak here, but it's out of frustration in representing the citizenry. I have a few items here that I would like to bring to your attention. First, I'd like to ask, if I may, what is the current population of Shawnee County at this time? Does anybody know that?
Approximately 180,000.
180,000?
Well, he's on that.
When was that count last taken? Was that the census?
That's the census.
2020?
Yes.
Was anybody or were everybody on this board at that
Cook was.
time?
Yes.
Okay, great. Something crossed my desk a few days after the August 2020 property increase meeting, and I didn't have time to get to it because, as you know from last week, I had a more pressing issue over there at the TSCPL to address. And I want to do my due diligence when these matters come before me. So I, in haste, wrote some notes and did some looking on this matter, and I wanted to ask those on the commission and maybe council, if you are aware of Kansas statute 192670. Anybody here aware of that?
There we go, man. This is it.
We have the counselor.
Look, they're all taking notes.
So since commission might be, and from my research, it's still in effect, if I'm not mistaken. I would beg for some clarification on that. If that is not in place, this would be moot. But it's my understanding that it's still are aware of Kansas statute 192670.
I don't know what happened there.
You're aware of that? We have the counselor is what is. No, so since commission might be, and from my research, it's still in effect. If I'm not mistaken, I would beg for some clarification on that. If that is not in place, this would be moot. But it's my understanding that it's still on the books. So while your counsel's doing research on that, I'll read this to you because I had mentioned a citizen review board, and members of the council welcomed that and said they would take it under consideration. Well, 1926, and I don't want, it's an interesting story how I obtained this document, but for the interest of protecting my sources, I'm going to refrain from offering that at this time, but it's an amusing story. But anyway, it says here, Citizens Commission on Local Government in Counties between 170 and 200,000 membership qualification. There shall be created and established a citizen commission on local government in every county in this state having a population of more than 170,000 and not more than 200,000. Such commission shall consist of the Board of County Commissioners of the county, the governing bodies of all cities of the first class located in such county. I assume that Shawnee County Topeka meets that criteria.
Yes, sir.
First class. We can look into that. The trustees of each township, I think we may have some here today of such county, the chairman of the boards of education of all such districts located in such county, the chairman of boards of public utilities of all cities located in such counties, the chairman, sorry, I have my bifocals on, but the chairman
We caught ya.
of boards of all drainage districts located in such counties, the mayors of all cities, that's Rossville, Auburn, I suppose, and some of these, of second and third class, and I would assume the library, since they are their own municipality, I don't know, of such county, and number 8, 18 persons who shall be selected and appointed by the members herein before provided. Such persons shall be residents of the county and shall not be officers or employees of the county or any city, school district, township, board of public utilities, or draining districts. Now, statutes 2671 through 2674 highlight how they should be selected and what their duties are. I will skip 2672, the duties. That's we can peruse the others at our leisure, but this is something I want to get out. It shall be the duty of such commission to investigate and study the existing structure and operation of the units of local government within such county. B, investigate and study the needs and requirements of the citizens of the county for government services. C, investigate and study possibilities for elimination of all unnecessary activities and all duplication in office personnel, equipment, and coordination of activities between departments and government units. And D, to investigate and study the possibility and advisability of reforming the system, local government, with a view to simplifying the organization of government. Such study to include consideration of the consolidation units of government, transfer of powers and duties, and the creation of new forms of government. Are we aware of this, and is this in place at this moment? Are we in violation of the statute?
We do have an,
Then you want to defer to our legal counsel?
In this language?
Let me review these statutes specifically. I believe this is a prior enabling set of statutes for a prior look at consolidation, perhaps not even in Shawnee County.
No,
Let me
you're
review
wrong there, James.
this body that opinion.
Very good.
But I would like to review that and give this body
No, he's going to try to say it's all Wyandotte, and that's
set
bullshit.
of statutes that enabled the Consolidation Commission to occur back in 2006 to review this issue, to come forward with a ballot measure. Specifically, the review at that time was to look and see, should we consolidate city and county governments totally? Should we consolidate certain functions? Should we eliminate certain elected officials? That particular set of statutes had a dual majority vote. It had to be approved by both residents within the city of Topeka, residents outside the city of Topeka, and that failed.
You are convoluting the issue there, James.
Population at that time. I don't think we met that threshold of 170,000, which would require us to be obliged to this statute.
I'm not sure of the population. There was a specific set of statutes adopted by the Kansas legislature to allow us locally to look at that issue. That's why I want to go back and take a look at these specific statutes and find the actual purpose back in 1968 when it was adopted, why it was adopted. My suspicion is it's for a separate issue.
You're wrong, James.
County, but I'll take a look at it.
Well, at the time, Shawnee County wasn't a population of 170,000, so I would argue that it is applicable today, and we need to be on board with the
Good
law
man.
to be in violation
I
of
like this guy.
statutory, constraints. So, with that, I appreciate us looking into that, and I would be willing to throw my hat in the ring to assist in being part of this should it come to fruition per statutory requirement. Second item or issue I have, I was
See, you could never get this out in 4 minutes.
expiration of the contract of the county appraiser. He's on a 3-year contract, if I'm not mistaken, or 4-year contract. Do you know when that expires?
Well, they never wanted to hear from me. They never would answer my questions.
Well, that's, I guess, to my question, what would constitute a situation that would make that contract null and void? What actions could he possibly commit or conduct that would violate that contract and render it null and void? Malfeasance, perhaps?
I'm going to defer to my legal counsel, but I believe that an ouster petition would have to be brought for
He'd have to commit a felony. That's the law.
Jim.
Let me just say, I don't think any of the provisions, either in the statute or the contract, would allow for removal of this county appraiser. I think he does an excellent job doing exactly what the state requires.
He didn't answer the question there, James.
The issue that there is presented with valuations is a direct function of what the state requires, and this appraiser meets the state standard and is tested every year to meet the state standard, does meet the state standard for appraisal each and every year. So in my opinion, I'll have to pull the contract, pull the statutes to find out exactly what the standards are. But I can't imagine that this county appraiser does not.
He's a great guy, yeah.
And I'm not suggesting that he is, but I'm only asking if malfeasance would rise to that level.
It's
For
a
instance,
felony.
Hypothetically speaking, the manipulation of data to artificially inflate valuations. Something
Well,
along
I mean, that's a good point.
Please look into that as well, because that's something that some of your constituents have concerns with as well. So I appreciate your time, and I hope that I was a little more tactful in my delivery of my message. And thanks. I look forward to hearing from you with regard to this commission that, according to my research, should be in place at this time. Thank you for your time.
Jim, would our Intergovernmental Cooperation Council, which is made up of the Unified School Districts, which is Auburn, Washburn, Shawnee County, Silver Lake, Topeka, the city of Topeka is represented there, Shawnee County, Metropolitan Transit Authority, Airport Authority, Library, and Washburn University?
No, it doesn't meet the standard that he just said there, Billy Boy.
I would prefer not to answer until I've taken a look at it. Sure. Let me take a look.
There's a smart guy right there.
That sounds like a lawyer.
Well, he would know.
No. All right. Anyone else wishing to speak from the public?
All right, here we're gonna pause that right here.
Okay.
All right, let me say hello to y'all. How are you tonight? Look, that was a very important point in time, getting that on the record. And the Citizens Committee is actually the way you circumvent, like the Greater Topeka Partnership, the Chamber of Commerce, the Go Topeka. I mean, the politicians could just elect all those guys to the place, or to the positions, but then now all the decisions are being made in the sunlight, transparent. You know, today you guys aren't focused on the fact that we've got non-elected officials shepherding tax dollars, and the voters don't have anything to do with it. Now, the voters that pay their dues to the to pay to play, now those people have a say, but the Citizens Committee is the answer, and we've got to follow Doge. You know, I've started Shawnee County, SNCODOGE, but we've got to get with it. wait till you guys. I'm gonna post the statistics. I just went through all the. I got 9,433 votes. I was short by 1,600. But here's the really crazy thing is we have here. Let me see what this says here. $118,792 registered voters in Shawnee County, and we only got 82,700 out. But between my election with Cook, he had 11,000, and I had 9433. So we had 20,000 people. I mean, we had such a low turnout in our district. It's terrible. So what we have to do as a party, the Republicans, we need to make sure that we've got precinct people in every position, and we need to start organizing and a little more guerrilla marketing to become a Republican, to find people that understand that there's only two genders, a man and a woman. And, we could put a little God back into this thing, and we've got to stop having non-elected officials shepherding our tax dollars. It's not right. It's not fair. But we also have to start following state law. And also, too, if you know a representative or a senator in the state house, we have to redo our tax structure. The day you buy a house, what a guy pays for it and what a guy sells, that's the market value. And this flim-flam valuation, we've got to stop that. It's a made up, it's not real. What you paid for it and what the guy took for it, that's real. And then, so once we start making our tax structure based on that, well, there's going to be less money to go around. You can always, this is like the ultimate way to change the numbers. So we've got to start doing things differently. We got to catch up with our country. Look what our country did. Our country decided to put Donald Trump back into the White House because he's willing to make change. And this thing that Biden just did a minute ago was put it in their contract that 42,000 people can still work from home. Well, that's bullshit. That's what we call the proverbial turd in the punch bowl. And we've got to stop things like that. I hope Elon and the other fella can figure out how to get around that thing. Well, anyway, I'm going to sign off. I've got work to do. I'm in the office. I got to write a contract to give to my lawyer to review. I'm live.